Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Love having you here. I Ski with Frankie Z. This is the place to be. This is such a great show today. It's called the Louis Vuitton Valentine's Day Special, and I want to welcome everyone listening. I want to welcome you, and thank you again for being part of the show. We got a great show today. First thing we're going to go over is Michaela Schifrin catching the bronze. That's right. Chick medal, stepped up to the podium, took bronze in Italy, and we're going to talk about that. I've got this is the kind of thing you got to look for in the media to stay away from, but I've got a thing from ESPN I'm going to play for you that just makes me want to go crazy when I hear it. It's just terrible. But anyway, it's about Michaela. Second thing that we have is we're going to talk about our loss, Louis Vuitton Valentine's Day Special about happiness, which leads into our third segment, which is, what is happiness? How do you get happy? Like, there's a process, so we'll visit that. The fourth thing is I have a music list that put me in tears to listen to. Oh, right now I'm getting a little choked up trying to talk about it. It's a love list, and it's not just for couples. I have a song on there to these two girlfriends of mine that we all dated at one point, and I got a little song for them I think that you'll like to put on your music list. And then I've got anyway, the number one song, I hope I can choke it out. It's so good and it means so much to me. Oh, you got to tune in. So, Michaela, the Louis Vuitton show, how to be happy, and the music list. Gotta get myself together here before I move on. I'm not typically this sentimental, but it is February 14th and it is the day of love. So, gentlemen, I would wish you today are the best days with your special lady, and ladies, I hope the same thing for you and all couples of the world, who and however you may be. I wish you the very best. Jumping right into Michaela. So she goes to Italy. She had 300 plus days off. Tragedy in the family. Her father dies. Now this chick's like 23, 24 when this kicks in. COVID kicks in. And then summer kicks in. So this chick, in the middle of February last year, loses her father. March comes around, everything gets shut down, and she's either been training or beer drinking for the last 6 months, and Cortina, Italy was going to prove that. So coming back from a headbang like your father passing, and coming back from a physical and a physiological bang like COVID coming around, where it knocks out your sport from even being able to participate in. Like, the lifts were shut down. People weren't skiing everywhere. Now, she might have been able to get on a private hill and do some training, or that maybe they opened up a couple of runs for her. Bottom line is that she was coming out to Cortina, Italy to take some names, and she had like 30 other people that were competing out there. And every one of them was hungry for one thing, and that was to win gold. So you have to imagine the level of competition. Like, it's so alpha on all levels with the men and the women. Like, everybody's just, and they're trying to be cool with each other, because that's like the ski culture thing. Like, hey, what's up, man? Because, like, if you get on the hill, this is just a little quick side note, you get on the hill and you have somebody that acts like a jackass in line, that's the 1 in 100. You can't take that personal. Don't argue with a fool. I was like, So what does that mean? He says 99% of those people out there that you're going to argue with are fools. Don't do it. He said 1% of the credible conversations that you're going to have that have any semblance of debate or divided issue, those are the at 1%, those are the conversations that you're going to want to hold dear, you're going to want to think about, you're going to want to let them mind to root in for discussion and dissemination for your thoughts to pick through and to try to understand. You know, if it be a speech from Constantine, or if it happens to be a MLK's speech, or if it happens to be something from Thoreau, whatever it is that you allow in. And so debate doesn't always necessarily happen with another person. Like, you can throw a conversation in your mind and say, like, does a straw have 2 holes or 1 hole? Yeah, well, look that one up. For my little science geeks out there. At the end of the show, in fact, I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer at the end of the show. There's a little bonus. How many holes does a straw have? Like a great science teacher. And we had a great class. I was a good leader for the campus, but I was a terrible leader in science class. I was a much better follower, and I knew my place, so I stayed in my lane, and I would just listen. We had another guy named Jeff Azaris, and Jeff was the physics guy that like left high school and went to MIT. And anyway, so getting back to this, so there's your. I'm going to give you the answer at the end of this. At the end of the show, finishing bronze on that podium. That is such. If she would have gotten gold, we would have had to have a ticker tape parade for her in New York City, or at least Aspen or Denver or somewhere, because and I didn't want to even lead into that in the beginning, because you want to keep her head right. You don't want to sit there and say nobody was expecting her to win gold. That Slavic chick and that Russian chick, those are the 2 gold winners. You'll see them on the podium quite a bit too. But Sheffrin, oh, watch out for her. I think that this week I'll check into this. She may be in another competition in Italy, but we'll stay up on that. Number 2, happy Valentine's Day. I hope everybody's well. What's so interesting about Valentine's Day is if you don't have a wife, a husband, or somebody special, you better be taking your mom out. Like, or maybe inviting her anyway with you. Like, or your parents, or whatever the situation might be. Because there's ladies like to be treated well, and I don't know, maybe your mom's not a lady, and maybe you don't qualify in that category, and I apologize, but I think that all women, they all should be treated special, and they have a day set aside to say that a special woman is treated special on this day, and there's just no 2 ways about it. Give her candy, give her dinner, kisses, give her a call, give her a visit. Let her play with the kids. Let her see you or the family, whatever. Like, it's a time to kind of, it's cold out. It's winter in the United States, and there's a lot to that. But what there is there's love in the air. So it's time to put down whatever issues you have and try to mend fences, at least with the ones you love. Not your neighbors and not friends, but the people that are closest to you, people that have helped you become who you are, good or bad. And be thankful for who you are. Like, you've already made it. You're hearing if you're listening to this, and you probably have more than $5 in your bank account. You probably have a bank account. Let's just start with that. Who knows? I know sometimes you don't always run a positive bank account. You got to float a little bit. No, but seriously, you probably have a bank account. You probably have a car. And if you ski, I'm assuming you do, You have to be able to afford a $100 lift ticket. How does that happen? So let's talk about this. Now, let's say that Valentine's Day is already passed for you, and you're trying to think of a way to get in good with your girl. Now, I don't know, this may work with guys too. I'm assuming it will. So let's say you're a special one. I don't have to be that specific, because that's the good thing about this show, is I'm going to give you the skinny. It's going to cost you about $100 a month, maybe $200 a month. But this investment will pay off. And this isn't for Christmas, and this isn't for Thanksgiving, and it's not a Halloween gift. It's not 4th of July or May Day or a spring gift. This is for next year's special someone in your life. $200 a month. Okay? It's $50 a week. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that $200 a month, and you're going to, at the end of the year, in January, you're going to go online. If you haven't already been shopping, you're going to go online to louisvuitton.com, and what you're going to do is you're going to go make an appointment, and you're going to book an appointment in their store. You can do that online. Now, you can walk into their store and play the whole COVID game thing, and I've seen lines that were like 6 people deep, 8 people deep, walking into Louis Vuitton. In fact, when my daughter and I were shopping, we were heading over to Louis Vuitton over Christmas, and the line was about 45 people, maybe 50 people. It was intense. Zara was the same way. Everybody was out shopping, but they were in specific stores for show. Anyway, but back to Louis Vuitton and love and being happy. So here's the deal with the Louis Vuitton. Go to the website, book an appointment, and be professional about it. So you want to go in like in the middle of January. So if you have something that needs to be brought in, you can give them 2 weeks to get it to you. But you want to go in and book something up, make an appointment, and then shop online. And you're like, what am I going to get at Louis Vuitton for her? A watch, some jewelry and shit. No, you can't afford a watch. I'm thinking more like a little purse, a little handbag, a little something she can show off to her girls by not showing off. Like, let's say she's sitting, let's say it's your mom. All right, let's say this is your girl. Let's just go right down the line real quick. So your mom. So you give your mom a little Louis Vuitton bag that she can pull out of her purse that has her credit cards and has her change and all that kind of stuff. Okay? It's your wife. You might think about getting her a portfolio or a messenger bag. Something she can show up to work kind of cool in. Now, I don't know how cool your wife is. If your wife's a little more old school, maybe you've got to save up $300 a month or $400 a month and actually get her like a bag that she can travel with. So when you guys will fly everywhere, she has an LV bag coming down the check-in line, or when she's getting on and off the plane, something like that she can throw over her shoulder. And if you have a younger girl, younger person that you're getting something for, they have some handbag, purse type things with some gold chains that they can strap over their shoulder and wear out with a cute little cocktail dress. They also have some stuff with some leather. If your chick wearing Doc Martens, if you've got like a 15 to 25-year-old with some Doc Martens, a bag that can strap over like a messenger. But it's a small little tiny purse, it's like 8 inches. I don't know. You got to go to the website. You got to check this out. But that's what you give your special person every year. And they have the cutest things, all kinds of shit. Everything from like little winter boots to shoes to watches to dresses. I mean, it can go up. I'm not their salesman. I'm just telling you how if you really want to make a mark. Because like if you go say, oh, I'm gonna go get a Coach. Get one of these brands that they have over, Jessica Simpson or something. Here's the difference, Brainiac. That Louis Vuitton bag, she'll probably be putting that in her will to be buried with it. Your pipe is going to be a good substitute. She'll have that in a dumpster, or she'll second give that thing out or re-gift it, is what I guess is what that is. Because that Coach isn't going to do it. The Louis Vuitton will do it. And I'm just giving you I'm handing you pearls. You don't want them? Throw them back in the ocean. It makes no difference to me. Because it's you that's going to have to live with your tight ass. It's you that's going to the casino, or you betting on football games, or you going to the bar, or you wasting $200 a month on some that you could be investing back in your special someone that puts up with your dumb ass all year long. Oh my God. Like, I have friends that are married, and I feel for them and their old ladies. That's all I'm going to tell you. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bust this up into two pieces here, because I want to talk about what makes you happy, and I want to talk about the music list. There's all kinds of stuff. Michaela, she settled for bronze. Boy, I tell you, that was the worst. This chick took the Super G. She should be out after that victory, celebrating, and then getting right back to work. Okay. So, we're going to bring back the Anchor podcast. Hello, we would like to welcome you back. We're going to start back up this podcast, the Louis Vuitton Valentine's Day special about happiness. We just took a quick break here. We wanted to get into what makes you happy in the music list. The part about being happy is things that you do. I'm just kind of talking off the cuff here. I don't know if this is scientific, but the things that you do or don't do, I think, create happiness. Now, what does that mean? To me, when you don't do something, that is lack of action. Hence, doing something plus or equals making you happy means you had to take action. So I always talk about getting off the couch and getting on the hill and going skiing. You can go for a walk. You can go, like, whatever you want to do that makes you happy. I know that. Okay, check this out. So my little brother, he used to have a dispensary in Long Beach, and we would go over there and hang out. And Brian would take my daughter to Disneyland, and I would manage the store for the day. And so I would talk to these chicks that would work for him. And they were California people are the best. I swear to God, I love California people so much. Like, I don't know, the girls especially, because I didn't have too much conversation with too many dudes. But anyway, regardless of that. And one of them used to throw on rollerblades and go up and down the boardwalk. And this other one would run up to Venice Beach, and she actually had roller skates. And she would just put her phone down with a Bluetooth and a boom speaker. And she said, I would just roll back and forth in this one part that was right between Venice Beach and Santa Monica Pier, where she could, put the music up a little bit, and she'd point it towards the beach, and she would skate. She said, I would just dance for hours. And I would look at these two girls like, this is all you do? And I started realizing the more that I worked with them that they found things like this one, she says, I rollerblade for miles, and I have my headphones on, and I'm listening to music, and I'm able to escape, and this and that. And I thought, I guess I just figured that pretty girls, because both these girls are pretty, are just happy. But happiness has nothing to do with that. Like, you have to work at being happy. And that goes for everybody. And I don't know who doesn't qualify, like maybe if you're in jail somewhere, or if like you're on lockdown somehow, or somebody's got a gun to your head, like that's probably not the time to cry. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But all I'm saying is like, you got to take action, and you finally get away that you find that happiness, and you're like, man, I'm so glad I took that action, dude. Thanks for saying that. Whatever it is, like, I don't know, whatever, but take some action. If you're not in lockdown and you're not under special circumstances or anything, just take some action. So, what is happiness? I have something I'm going to play for you, but before I do, let's go over this. It says 30 facts about happiness according to science. So when I hear she settled for bronze, I just go, somebody's selling headlines. Don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled. But if you don't know, maybe you don't know. So when I hear 30 facts about happiness, I'm thinking that's all right. According to science? Well, anyway, you can test out these and see what you think. But some of them are actually pretty. The white of the winter snow. The rise of the sun. Like, fall in love with things. It's a decision, and it's an action that you have to put forward and go for. So, all right. Moving on. If you want to be happy, spend time with other happy people. Yeah, like you get around losers, you have losers. You know what I mean? Like, if you have 5 happy friends, I'll show you the happy friend, meaning you, meaning them, whoever. If you've got 5 loser friends, I'll show you their 6th one. It's you. It says sleep contributes greatly to happiness. Interestingly enough, the amount of sleep we receive has a huge effect on the overall happiness. Okay, this is kind of one of those, do the math, I guess. Like, oh my God, I don't even know. All right. The world's happiest people feel a sense of community. Yeah, that's so true. Research shows that around the globe, the world's happiest children live in Mexico, Spain, and Brazil, places in which close family relations tend to prioritize. Mexico also ranked first among countries with the most satisfied people. Whoa. Again, this is scientific and factual. Maybe that's based off of the community rating. Among the same line, 74% of the people who attend church services at least once per month reported being very happy, while 26% of those who never attend church could say the same. Boy, isn't that the truth? Don't you love going to a beautiful cathedral? Your politics may be to blame for your happiness. Okay, yeah, see, these are another one. Yeah, really, if you're not all up into that, you're probably a lot happier. You know what I mean? Happiness keeps the doctor away. Boy, that's the truth. According to the old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It turns out happiness is pretty darn good for health too. According to research study published by Psychosomatic Medicine, people who routinely exude a positive emotion are less likely to come down with a common cold. Exactly what gives in the body to cause such a phenomenon isn't yet clear, but it sounds like it might be a good reason to wake up each day with a smile. Yeah, again, I think that's just what they call good medicine. Listening to music can boost your mood. Oh, got a whole segment on that coming up, man. Quit taking away my thunder. Happy baseball players live longer. Okay, that's a bunch of every person that plays sports play. Fortunately, okay, here's the next section. This is so funny how propaganda works. Fortunately, you don't have to play baseball to enjoy a longer life. Yeah, you can cricket. You can go out and play chess over in Venice Beach on the coast, or there's all kinds of places you can play chess. But the point is that you can play anything, a competitiveness. You can play poker. Go be competitive. Go do something you love. Being happy can lead to or being outdoors can increase our happiness. Love that. Go. Frank Diddy from the big city was just telling me, get off me duff and go out there and go do something. Go to skiing, go to the beach, go play golf, go hiking, go shopping, and don't buy things. See, now that's something that some people can't do. I get it. I'm not a mall walker. And I'll be over there at the Louis Vuitton store standing in line trying to get me some earrings for next year. I'm hoping I get a girlfriend this next year, but we'll see. Somebody will get the earrings. No, but seriously, that's just not what I do. I like to go skiing. I like to go to the beach. Love to play golf. It says that happy people are more likely to have happy children. And, I think one of the greatest compliments you can give your child is to ask them a question about a specific issue that they're interested in, and then listening to them tell you about it. My daughter, for example, was talking to me about rocks, and I said, hey, well, so tell me, how are mountains formed? And she went into probably a 20-minute explanation about the different types of mountains, that are formed, if it be through erosion or if it be through the tectonic plates combining or coming together, or if it's like over in India, it's the Indian continent that's brushing up against the Asian continent that are creating the K2, and what's the one that's on the Tibetan border in the Himalayas, those mountains, how those were made. And it was so interesting to hear her talk about that. And what it did for me, frankly, is it opened up a world that I didn't understand, that I also knew that I was more interested in. Probably because she told such a great story. I don't know, but she was so informed and she had such a great opinion about it that it made me more interested in what she was talking about. And that made me happy. So I guess the bottom line is you have to do something. But if you do nothing, make sure it's you're listening, that you're paying attention, that you're watching, that you're there, that you're present. Go to their games. Be their coach. Don't just go to their game. Be an assistant coach. Just be the that sits there with a scorebook and keeps a scorebook. And you're like, I don't know how to do a scorebook. Do you have YouTube? Type in, how do I keep a baseball scorebook? How do I type in, how do I keep a softball scorebook? How do I mark soccer? How do I do basketball stats? This isn't going to be at the game taking ticks, contributing to the process that person's in. You say, well, what if my kid's a skier? I can't go out there and no, just show up, cheer. Sit there and pay attention when they're pole vaulting, or when they're doing the long jump, or when it's the 100-yard dash and your kid's over there. Maybe they'd relax a little bit if they saw you cheering them on and be like, hey, come on, Junior. So you're the adult, first off, in every situation. If you're listening to this, you're the adult. You have to take this and move it forward. So happiness. Enjoy it. Try to expand upon it. Let's see what we're looking at here as far as time goes, because I got to bust into this music list. Holy. And the question that's still on the table is, how many holes does a straw have? The music list. This was one of the hardest music lists that I've ever had to come up with. Because there's so many good. What the hell is this? Karen. You know, when I heard that somebody reached into their pocket and found that McDonald's cheeseburger was like there for like 15 or 16 years, and they're like the pockets. The other day I was going to my ski jacket and the weather was so nice. I was like, I'm not going to ski with a jacket. And then I was like, you know what? I brought up my brother's Red Angels ski. It's like not a ski, baseball windbreaker. And so out of dedication for my brother, and I hope you go back and see that video, you can see me skiing. There's a couple of them that are 2 minutes long, and then I have a couple others that are show us riding up the ski lift and then coming down. The Pink Floyd Experience is one of them, I think it's called the Pink Floyd Experience at Snowbowl, something like that. But anyway, so I'm skiing in this Red Angels windbreaker, and I started coming up with some songs, by the way, for this list, thinking about, you know, what you'd want to ski to and whatever. So here's where we're at. Starting at number 5, Alabama's Fallen Again. I just think that song is such a great. It's not a song you'd sing to somebody. It's a song you sing about somebody, maybe about yourself. But anyway, Alabama Fallen Again. Number 4. Number 4 has an interesting meaning because my Uncle Jimmy has this great son. His name's Marcelo. And Marcelo is my daughter's age. And when Marcelo, my fine fellow, was born, Jimmy was just so smitten by this beautiful boy. And he was just a beautiful baby. And anyway, so we were talking one day, and about music and this and that, and then this song came on by the Righteous Brothers called Unchained Melody, and he says, that's the song I sing to Marcelo. And I was so touched by that, and I thought that was such an amazing tribute. So number 4 goes out to a love from a father to a son. The Righteous Brothers. Unchained Melody. Number 3 by George Strait. Run. This song is actually the song I think of when I think of my little brother. So put that on your song list, and I wanted to answer the question about the straw. The straw has 1 hole. And then I wanted to go over a couple of songs that didn't make the top 5 list, but that were considered. And with that was Kenny Rogers' Lady. That was such a hard song not to put on there, but I thought about some different people in my life, and that song came up a few times. 3 Times the Lady by the Commodores. And again, I think I remember dancing with Carrie Peterson and Nancy Lunn and a couple girls to that one when it first came out. Maybe even Brenda Jameson. Oh my God. Jim Croce, Time in a Bottle. That one, again, it's just this beautiful song. It's got this great meaning. He's kind of a folk singer, so it's kind of cool. Another song by a band called Come Undone. I Miss You. And it's just this beautiful song that if you put it on the list, if you go check it out, honestly, it's fantastic to hear. It's really it's fun and it's great. It's a love song that it's perfect for a couple. Something that you could sing to somebody was Barry Manilow. Could It Be Magic? And then I have another one, The Association, and both of these songs I could sing to my daughter. One's called Never My Love, and the other one I couldn't decide on was Cherish. Carpenters, For All We Know. Beatles, Julia off the White Album, and Something. Now, my dad went to Italy with some people in our family, and they came back with a music box. And that music box had that song Something on it by the Beatles. We're back, Jack, here on the music list. We're going to be counting a couple of songs. I was just explaining that my father went to Italy for a wedding with with a whole bunch of our family. My Uncle Tub and his wife Stacy. They when she was going to school and college, he went out there and visited her and before they got married. And so when the family was having a wedding, the Zanzukis that live in Italy, they invited a bunch of us to go out. I didn't go, but invited some people in our family to go out. And so my father came back with this music box that he gave to Olivia on like her second or third birthday. It was really neat. Anyway, I'm not sure if that's something that's still around, but the song Something by the Beatles was on that music box. So it actually has a very special place in regards to how I see that. I wanted to play something here real quick. I got while we were sitting here, and it's actually about being a parent. And maybe it's not directly about happiness, but I think it's worth listening to. It's called Their Faults or Your Faults. Let's see what this says here real quick. And then we will finish up with the top 2 love songs on the music list. Okay, here real quick. We're going to listen to this and then talk about it for a second.
They don't listen. They make bad choices. They don't give their best efforts. Your kids can drive you nuts. After all, isn't mimicry pretty aggravating? I love him very dearly, I guess because of his faults, which are my faults. The novelist John Steinbeck would write of his son. I know where his pains and his panics come from. And of course these flaws really came from Steinbeck himself. Our kids have our vices and virtues. That's what makes this only thing so hard. It's also what makes parenting such a wonderful opportunity. Steinbeck, for instance, would notice here out east of Eden that his son Tom was at a particularly critical juncture. Once Steinbeck had been it himself. He can be ruined or made strong in this exact little time, he wrote in his journal. And now is the time when I must help him, not by bolstering him up, but by forcing fear and making him learn balance there. This is what we're here for. To help them, to become like in the good ways and to prevent them from becoming too much like us in the bad ways. This is our chance, our time. To help them, to bolster them, to seize this second chance, to give what we didn't get, to help them overcome flaws that maybe we never quite got over ourselves. It's a chance to understand, to be an ancestor and not a ghost, to love, to appreciate, and, most of all, to be patient with them.
Whoa. So, that was intense. I don't know, maybe I just take this stuff too intensely. But I just sit here and think of the day that my daughter raced me in a foot race. And I'm one of the fastest guys that I know. Back in the day, anyway. Not anymore, probably. I'm faster than a lot of people, though. That's I'm sure. Still. What I mean by that is, like, 40-yard dash or something like that, or run a foot race against somebody, like, hey, let's race. Sometimes it was 30 yards. It was short, but I was fast. I had a guy that I played football with named Carlton Campbell that I loved to run with because he was faster than me. And I could see this guy actually passing me. Like, you could just see him coming out of your eye. He was so fast. And he was actually the best guy, one of the best guys I've ever known. I was in a track meet one time. I was in Denver, Colorado. And me and a guy named Mike Evans, a guy named Pete Best, and Vince Lopez went to the Western Regionals to race. And there were these cats from the Tucson team with the last name Cade, C-A-D-E, like Mossy Cade, and I can't remember the other Cade brothers' names, but there was like 5 of them, and I think they were from like Florence or somewhere down south there. But these Cade brothers were in the same race as us, and we were in a 400-meter relay race. We had just all had turned 15. And I think Pete Best actually was 14. But anyway, so we were all these little kids. We were freshmen, gonna be sophomores. And the Cade brothers were seniors in high school. They were 18 years old. We got into this Denver stadium, and it was a little cloudy. There was a few people in the stands because of the intensity of the race. Some people had gathered around because that was an attractive race, watching a 400-meter race, 400-meter relay, watching the 100-meter. Those are all real popular. So we're here in the 400-meter relay, and there's a little crowd getting around us. And I think the fastest time that we had ever ran was right around 51 seconds. So we line up, and we're looking at these Cade guys, and I know who they are. So we all line up, and you hear the guy with the gun say, "On your mark." And the guy, I was second in the leg, and our guy that led off first was Mike Evans, and then I would hand to Pete Best, and then Pete Best to Vince Lopez. And so Mike comes off the blocks, boom, and it's kind of neck and neck for about 60 yards. In fact, Mike was probably leading at one point because he was fast as well. And Mike Evans went to Sunny Slope High School, was a fantastic quarterback, pitcher, played infield, outfield, hit like a switch. And the guy was a top point guard for their basketball team. One of the best all-around athletes I've ever known. So anyway, so Mikey hands off to me, and by the time he hands off to me, we're now probably second. And so I get it, the baton. Clean handoff, nice, beautiful race being ran. But what you don't realize is the difference between first and second was about 3 seconds. And in track, an eternity. When you go, oh yeah, we're 3 seconds behind somebody in the 100-yard dash, that means that they ran a 10-second 100 yards and you did a 13-second. Most linemen could beat that, running backwards. So you have to understand, 3 seconds is forever. And Vince now gets the handoff, and your final leg is your fastest leg. But the times we ran, I believe it was a 49 and change. And I think the Cade boys won with the 47 and change. So we got smoked like a cheap cigar that day, running against the Cade boys. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're involved, when you have people paying attention, That is important. Any relationship. So when I look at this about the thing that we just heard, our Steinbecks that wrote East of Eden, kind of having the same sins, and what you do is you kind of help them become better. That's how skiing is too, by the way. I'll have to share the story about the foot race because there's more to that. Oh my God, is there more to that? Pulled calf muscle and a rescue by some hunk. Oh my God, I could go on. All right, we'll talk about that on another show. We want to go ahead and put the climax on this one here. We've got 2 songs left on the music list for the Valentine's Day special, the Louis Vuitton Valentine's Day special. And just in case you might have caught this a little bit late, the idea is to put away $200 or $300 a month in your shoe box up in the closet or a special account. Like, I can't tell you how to handle that. Like, that's your deal. You just have to have the cash when it comes January 15th and you go online to put together an appointment at the Louis Vuitton store that's in your city or close to you. Now you say, well, I don't have a Louis Vuitton store in my town. Okay, Jamoke, go buy a Southwest ticket, round trip in December to wherever the hell it is that you need to go that's closest to you, and find a Louis Vuitton store, hook it up, and come back. They've got Louis Vuitton stores in Las Vegas, in Phoenix, in Los Angeles, in every major city. So don't make that your excuse. And if you got to drive, then drive. Like, I'm afraid to fly because I don't like fly. What happens if worst comes to worst? Order it online and pull it in. The trouble with that is that's very little effort for somebody you love. That's like low browbeat. And chicks, you need to pay attention to that. If it isn't going into the store, making an appointment, looking, touching, feeling, picking this with their own eyes, their own hands, smelling it, talking to the associate, let the associate explain how the purse, wallet, portfolio, phone cover, earrings, shoes, dress, satchel, whatever works. Don't have them tell you about the gift. That's all. Just have them explain it. Say, tell me what the store guy said. He should be just kicking right up and going, by the way, here's what Pierre said about your friends, the envy, the jealous bone. You can see your old lady just lighting up like a Christmas tree, like about $600 in that wallet. Maybe all ones. Don't do that. Drop zeros on the back end of that one. Put a couple of those in there too then. So that's what the show's about. Trying to be happy. What makes you happy? If you don't, let's say you don't want to ski. You say, Frankie, Mole, I only have one leg. I'm just dumber than, I'm just stupid. Listen, I just was skiing last week and there was a guy up there with one leg. And there was a dumb son that was me. And we both were able to ski that hill. So, if you don't think you can ski though, there's golf lessons, there's tennis lessons. Go learn to play chess. Just do something. The number 2 song goes out to my girls. I told you that I had a song on this list. You guys thought that every song on this song list was from like 1940, huh? Well, no, not every song's from 1940. I got one that just got released last year or 2. And it made number 2 on this list. Actually, I have 2 more that were on the top 10 list that didn't make it. One was by Paul McCartney called Maybe I'm Amazed. I requested that song one time on a radio station in Flagstaff like 17 times. And the guy, when he finally played it, said, this is for the guy that won't quit calling me. And I think that was the first time I ever felt famous. He didn't announce my name. He was complaining about me. But I guess I learned that good or bad publicity is good publicity. Doesn't matter, good or bad. Just having it is good. So he was complaining about my request, but it was right when Maybe I'm Amazed came out, and I wanted to hear radio so bad, and I didn't have enough money to buy this 3-record live album set when it first came out. So I had to wait for it to come out on the radio. The Cranberries, Linger. That song is so special. Me and my Uncle Vinny and my brother Brian and a couple of ladies. Olivia's mom, in fact, was one of them that went. Another girl, but she had to tag along because it was Lynn's friend. Anyway, we went to the Cranberries show with Toad the Wet Sprockets, and there was one other band. It'll come to me. Holy shit! Well, that was such a good show. It was so much fun. In fact, it was about the couch. We brought a couch, and we were able to get the tickets. I think were like $20 to get in. If we brought a couch and donated it, they were $5 off each ticket or something like that. I'll have to think about who else was in that show. Let's see. I'll just. In 1990, let's say 6. Okay, let's check this out here and see what this says. Their concert history. Well, we'll have to see if this. Oh, it says they were with Wolf Mother and Lenny Kravitz on one of them, but that wasn't the show. All right, I'll have to check this out. But there was Toad the Wet Sprockets and the Cranberries at this particular show. I think there was one more band. We'll have to check that out. Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me, and another song called Have a Heart. And then there was Barry White, I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little Bit More. Or actually, it's called I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little More. And then the Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets. I don't know if I mentioned that on the last one. That was on the list. And then the Beach Boys had a song called Wouldn't It Be Nice from that movie 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler. And the chick from Poltergeist. Oh, it was so funny. That was such a good one. It took place in Honolulu. And I just love that so much. So, the number 2 song is called We Fell in Love in October. The band is called Girl in Red. That song just jams. It's so like beachy almost. It's so cool. Like that song could have come out during Frankie and Annette beach party bingo, and it probably would have fit right in. It could have come out during the Jim Morrison era during LA in the 60s, late 60s, and it would have fit in. It could have come out in the mid 80s and fit in with Missing Persons, and it could fit in today. The number 1 song, as we come to a climax here with the Louis Vuitton Valentine's Day for Lovers Happiness Special. Song's been covered by a few people. It was originally in The Wizard of Oz. This cat from Hawaii recorded it. Excuse me. Song's very close. Get my composure here. Song's very close to my heart. I bet some other people also would enjoy this. by Israel Kanawawawo. I think I'm saying that wrong. They call him Izzy. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So, anyway, they hum it at the beginning. It's the jam. Makes me think of my little girl that I miss. So, that's the music list. That's what's cooking with SKI with Frankie Z. I just want to thank you guys for listening. We're now on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, and 5 other platforms. And I just want to say thank you to Overcast. We're on Radio Republic. Republic Cast. I'm sorry. No offense to you guys out there. Republic Cast. We're on Google Podcast. And watch us on YouTube. Love the show. Love having you on it. Looking forward to seeing you the next show. Again, thanks, my peace people. And your boy Frank Diddy is out. Over the rain.